You've heard the story of Jesse James, of how he lived and died. If you're still in need of something to read, here's the story of Bonnie and Clyde.
Hello everybody, my name is Aiden Chambers, your local historian, and welcome to my first YouTube video. I had lots of requests to put my videos over onto YouTube because not everybody has TikTok or Facebook, so I really don't mind doing that. Plus, I can post longer on here and hopefully reach a bigger audience. However, you do not need to worry because I will still be uploading over to TikTok and Facebook. Speaking of social media, if you follow any of my social medias, then you've probably seen this by now. My father and I just got back from our best adventure yet. We drove from Missouri to Oklahoma to Kansas to Arkansas to Texas and finally ending it in Gibbsland, Louisiana, sticking to most of the original route that Bonnie and Clyde went through as we could. Now, we didn't go to each and every spot that the Barrow Gang committed crimes at, but we did go do a lot of the significant ones, including the Joplin shootout, the crash site where Bonnie injured her leg, the Platte City shootout, some robbery locations, hotels they stayed at, the museum, the last place they were at. I mean, we went over 2,000 miles. Bonnie and Clyde were on the run for a bit over 2 years, from 1932 to 1934, and they traveled from Texas as far as Minnesota, pretty much leaving a trail of crimes everywhere they went. I've been interested in the Bonnie and Clyde story since I was in 4th grade, and I recently graduated high school, and I'm still learning more information. Hearing the stories and researching them in and out for all these years, it's kinda surreal to see these spots in real life. Most of these spots have markers dedicated to the brave officers who lost their lives during their crime spree. One of those stories actually took place right here in Joplin. The gang stayed here for about 2 weeks. It's actually a crazy story. I'll do a video on that sometime. I actually spent a few nights there back in February and have a few interesting stories about what we found there. But, like I said, different story for a different time. The infamous couple met their doom on this very road right here in Louisiana on May 23rd, 1934. They were killed by a posse led by Texas Ranger Frank Hammer and his men. The posse hid right here and shot Bonnie and Clyde on this road. Now, the death location is actually a few miles from the last spot Clyde went into to get him and Bonnie some sandwiches. It used to be a little restaurant, but now it's the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. It is a really cool place that will keep you interested. They have amazing artifacts, so if you're ever in the area, I 100% recommend it. I mean, I alone ended up spending $275 in the museum gift shop, but worth every penny. Now, before going on this travel, we had planned on visiting some pretty special folks down in Texas. This right here is Mrs. Rhea Leen and Buddy Barrow. They are the niece and nephew of Bonnie and Clyde. We had such a fascinating time discussing their family histories, and also just everything that has taken place over the past few years. Buddy Barrow has written this fantastic book on him and his life, and I 100% recommend it. He took us to some amazing spots and explained the history at each spot, and it was just so much fun. This is their original escape road.
Original escape.
How many times do you think that they escaped on this road?
Oh, probably once a week.
Wow. Rhea Leen ended up spending the whole day with us. She took us to Bonnie and Clyde's graves and just shared so many stories with us. This woman kept us entertained the whole day. She was a firecracker and she did not get tired whatsoever. She grew up around Blanche, and if you don't know who Blanche is, she actually spent some time with the Barrow Gang, more kind of getting dragged into the Barrow Gang. She was also raised by Bonnie's sister, Billie Jean Parker. Rhea Leen just has amazing stories about these ladies in their later years after their shenanigans. A lot of these stories she was nice enough to share with us. You guys are probably tired of seeing my face, so here's my interview with Rhea Leen Linder, Bonnie's niece. Enjoy.
Hi.
Okay, so how was it growing up knowing that you were the descendants of the most infamous couple ever?
Actually, I didn't know. And when I was in school, I was shunned. Children would tell me that they couldn't play with me, and I didn't know why.
Yeah.
But it was all fresh back then. And it took me a long time to realize that it was not the kids, it was their parents. Yes, my birth name was Bonnie Ray Parker. After my aunt Billie Jean changed my name, then everything was fine after that. Yeah, nobody knew who we were. They were killed in May 1934, and I was born in October 1934. So I'm sure, my mother named me that as a tribute to Bonnie. My birth certificate still says Bonnie Ray Parker.
How much did their stories from their crime spree affect your day-to-day life?
It was not discussed. My grandmother and dad and aunt, they had already lived through it. It was just not discussed. Yeah. I know people find that hard to believe that it's not an everyday conversation, but it was not. They had already lived through it, and I was just a little kid. So,
yeah. How do you feel about the way Bonnie and Clyde are portrayed in the media, and how do you and your family view their deaths today?
Everyone has an opinion, and they're certainly entitled to it. Bonnie and Clyde both came from good families, good, hardworking families, and their parents didn't understand and certainly not condone how their life turned out. But they were their kids, and they loved them. Yes. They were still family, and they loved them. Yes. And they were very close to their kid, and the kids stayed, Bonnie and Clyde stayed close to the families, even though they had to meet. Yes. There was time that Clyde would drop Bonnie off to spend the day with her mother, and then come back and pick her up. Yep. Go visit his mom.
He did that several times.
Yeah.
Do you think that they would be happy about the way they're portrayed today, or how they're viewed?
I think they would be pleased with their part in history, that the history part has kind of overridden the bad part that they did. The history seems to be the drawing thing of people. And of course the love story, which was a true love story. Oh. So I think they would be, pleased with that. And of course, there's some that have
different opinions.
Yeah. Opinions are like noses. Everybody's got one, so they're entitled to it. She wanted to be popular. She wanted to be out there, movie star and all like that. I'm not sure that this was what she had in mind to become popular with. She's a very loving, caring person, and she loved children. And she loved Billie Jean's two children, Buddy and Jackie. Now she needs to be with him,
And as far as I know, you're making efforts to make it.
Have been, right. The cemetery where she's buried, the guy doesn't want her moved, and he's been fighting me. We've been at this for about 6 years. And we've won twice in court last year. And then he turned around and filed an appeal in the appellate court. So we've been waiting on that for a year now. And the thing is, he has no case. He uses her for advertising. So he, doesn't want her moved. And he's done everything that he can do. We have attorneys, working on it. Even the judge asked him, "Why are you doing this?" He just made I don't think she has a good enough case. That was it. For a long time, he would not admit, I am the last direct descendant of Bonnie Parker. I'm it. He never admitted it at all through these years until last year at the judge, in the court thing. And it's the first time he's ever admitted. He has pulled people out of the air saying that they had, more say, than I had. Right. Yeah. He kept saying, well, just give me a court order. That's all I need. Well, we got the court order, and then he filed for an appeal. Then that was denied. And, the thing is, he has no case. He has no right. It's ironic. My mother's mother and stepfather and brother are buried out there, too. And I said, well, I'm leaving him 6 more people. I just want one out of the, out of the group. Right, I'm leaving him a whole bunch. When we talked to him the first time, he said, who is it that you want to disinter? When they said Bonnie Parker, he just went stone silent, there for a minute. I said, there's got to be a hole in his ceiling there. And the very first words when he came back was, her mother said, yes, her mother did say that. She felt that way, and you can certainly understand her feelings at that time. Yeah. But her mother was not thinking 90 years later, the place in history that, good or bad, they're there. And it was well known that she wanted to be with Clyde. She expected to be with Clyde, and that's the way it should be. And I said, I'm sure that if my grandmother is not happy with me, we'll have a come to Jesus talk when we meet again. And we've got so many people helping us and, and concerned. And this guy, he's dragging it out as long as he can. The attorneys and told me, said, well, he's mad at you because you won't drop it. And being a woman, I just cannot let that man win. I just cannot let him win. At this point, it's just the right right thing to do. Mr. Barrow, that space, he saved that. That's Bonnie's space.
Yeah.
He saved that for Bonnie. That space has been Bonnie's. She needs to be there. I want to do something like Bonnie and Clyde together again. You know, a stone like that.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, but we're fighting.
Well, you've got so many people on your side.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know, absolutely.
So, how was Blanche, and what are some of your favorite memories with Blanche?
Blanche was just a hoot, very self-sufficient, nice, neat, funny lady, a little short, gray-haired lady, very nice lady, little lady, but very witty, and she had a green thumb that she could throw easy. You can just spit a seed over and start growing. She loves fish, as Philogene. She and Jean and Marie all lived nice, quiet, productive lives after their early shenanigans.
Yeah. What's something about the Barrow gang or the Barrow family or the Parker family that you would like everybody to know?
The Parker family and the Barrow family, too. They were good, hardworking people. And I know that Bonnie wanted people to know that she did not smoke cigars. She did not. She wanted that known.
Yeah.
I guess that's, Bonnie did not smoke cigars. Because that is the very picture with her smoking that cigar. An officer that they kidnapped, he asked her if there was anything she wanted to know, and she said, tell people I did not smoke cigars.
Yep, she did.
So he told it, and now I'm telling it.
Rhea Leen and Buddy and everybody were just so much fun to be around. We even met with Jeff down there from the Orinoco video a while back. This was definitely my favorite project so far. I've wanted to do this for years. Also, I need to take a second to thank my dad. I mean, he drove tirelessly for almost the whole time. I only drove a total of probably like 5 hours. The rest of the time I was looking up more information on the spots we were going to. He drove literally the whole way, so he's pretty cool for that. If you live in the Jasper County area or if you enjoy history videos, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can see some more content I have coming up. Follow my TikTok for more history videos, and if you have any recommendations, put them in the comments here. Thank you all for watching my first video, and I will see you guys next time.